We are live.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Then I'm gonna go ahead and mute you here, and let's get started. So, hey everyone, FusedVR coming at ya. And today, super excited about this stream. We're gonna be building bowling for VR, and today's a super special stream in that we have. So I'm gonna be doing VR Unity development here, and Abdo is actually gonna be doing the 3D modeling and how he built all these assets that you're seeing right now in mixed reality. So really excited about this. I think it's gonna be such an awesome stream. And yeah, in the chat, let me know kind of what you're excited about. We're going to be using VRTK a lot. Happy to answer as many questions as possible. So much cool stuff to go over. And yeah, just to point out real quick, on the YouTube video, there should be like a gear icon. You can use that to switch between my stream and Abdo's stream. So if you want to go back and forth, see what he's doing on the modeling side, if you want to see what I'm doing on the Unity side, you can do that. And I want to see the chat super active today. It's Hassan's not here to help monitor it, but I'll definitely, I have my second monitor set up. I'll make sure to keep chatting and watching that. Just ping me at FuseMan or ping Abdo, who is, we're going to call him the Ghoster from now. I think it's a cool name for him. And he on his stream, he can definitely go and explain why we picked that name. But yeah, you can ping either of us if you have questions, or just chat among yourselves, because I think there's so much to talk about in the VR space. I just mentioned for Stanford, Triax is happening. Stanford's really big hackathon, a lot of VR projects that are going on there. So some people might show up, and super excited to have them too. So with that, I'm gonna actually go ahead and jump into mixed reality here. Got my Vive set up, and got the controllers here. Didn't have a lot of time to calibrate this, so it's not like one-to-one, but it is what it is. So you can see here, got the bowling ball. The one thing about bowling balls in VR is that your controller does not weigh as much as a bowling ball. So unfortunately, that physics is kind of hard to make feel right. Obviously, you can add haptics, you can add sound cues to make it feel a little heavier, but like the controller weight is what you get. But that said, we can throw it. So if I wanted, I could do a basketball shot. But what I'm just gonna do a straight up bowling shot, and I suck. Well, that was bad. Let's try that again. You can clearly tell I'm not a bowling expert. But yeah, so I have it like once it falls off, we get it spawned back here. There we go. I got one. I'm so much better than this in real life. But we do have a little spin here. You can see that like we've set it up so that it's not like the most easy thing in the world. Wow, I am really sucking today. But like we got real-time physics in there. We've got the bowling ball. It's doing its job. We could do a little spin. Once we actually hit everything off, and it's not, there we go. So once we hit everything off, then we got all the pins resetting. And yeah, so I'm just going to show you how he made this bowling ball, how he made those bowling pins, and I think if he has time, he'll also do the lane. There's a nice little gutter here, which I think is really cool, keeps it in track. Let me see if I can show off a little, nope, come on, I want to try and show some spin off. Let's see. So yeah, so you can see I threw it that way, but now we're able to spin it the other way. So yeah, so that's what we're building today, and a lot of this is built with VRTK, which I think is so cool, and we're able to do that. So I think at this point, let me go ahead, switch to, yeah, so this is mixed reality mode, and we're good to go. And I'm a little cut off, so let me stand a little back here. This is the Unity project. I just made a build really fast. Let me go ahead, pop in the chat real fast. New to VRTK. Awesome, yeah. VRTK is awesome. Actually, while I'm here, let me go ahead and pull up this real fast. So if you guys didn't know, VRTK Patreon? Question mark. If you guys didn't know, Stone Fox, who's creator of VRTK, put out a Patreon page. You can go ahead and donate there. Wow, they're already up to $304. That's pretty awesome. $304 per month. Yeah, and so if you use it or are interested in using it, definitely help him out. He's doing a lot of cool work, and we're building off of it today. So it's super awesome that we can use that. And so yeah, without further ado, let's kind of hop into how we can actually build it. I'm gonna go ahead. Actually, let me move this off to the side here. Go ahead, close this. That's the mixed reality, and awesome, we're set. If you want to follow along, I should also mention that you can download the assets off our website, and that includes the bowling ball, includes the bowling pins, includes the lane. So all of that brought to you by the Ghoster. So if you want to see how those are made, definitely go check out that video. I mean, for those who are watching afterwards, it's of course both videos are going to be available. So awesome. Starting off here, I'm just gonna get your standard assets off the store. So we're gonna get SteamVR. So we'll get that. And we're going to get VRTK. So these take a little bit of time now that Valve has added in the interaction system. So it takes a little while to update, but hopefully isn't too bad. Let's see. Also, kind of curious, who here is going to GDC? I might be around for the last day, maybe on Tuesday also. There's also the SVVR and SFVR mixer. I think that happens Tuesday. So my plan is to be there for that. And I'd love to meet you guys. Let me know in the chat again if you're going to be there. And let's see. All right. So that would be SteamVR. I really want them to update it to 5 to 5.5 or 5.5.1. Is that done? All right. Well, we're frozen for a little bit while this imports. Yeah, so GDC is happening this week, or soon, rather. What else happened in the VR world this week? I feel like I was out of touch. I've been so swamped. I've been so swamped with a lot of other things. I should also mention, and I think I'll create a separate video for this. I'm working with SVVR to put up some beginner. I typed what I was about to say. I'm working with SVVR to put up some beginner workshops. Like I said, I'll create a separate video for that. If you're watching this, I don't think that, like, if you have a Vive and you know Unity, it's not for you. Who it's for, and I'd appreciate if you spread the word. Again, I'll put up a separate video for it. It's really meant for people who have done programming and who don't have access to these high-end systems and potentially haven't even, or actually, I think it'd be better if you don't know Unity at all. I think it's a great way. Our goal really with this is basically to widen the funnel of potential VR developers for taking the existing pool of VR developers. So getting them in here in person to basically go ahead and build it up eventually to the point where they could start joining these live streams. So that's kind of our goal with that. Again, I'll put up a video on that separately, explaining more of the details behind it and what's going on there. And yeah, if you know anyone who might be interested, definitely send them our way, because we want to make it as accessible as possible to people. All right, so now we got SteamVR, we got VRTK. If we want any other additional assets, I might get them later, but we have the basics of what we need. So what I'm going to do actually is we're going to be using, yes, this one. So this is one of the very first scenes that StoneFox made. So the basic grabbing and throwing. So what I'm actually going to do here is go ahead and jump into the Vive just to show this off. What we'll be doing really here is, yeah, so we're off on this side. And come on. I know I can grab things. Let me restart that. Because that's bizarre. That the example scene is not working. Strange. Interesting. Oh, I see. Right. So I thought the example scenes were set up with this, but No, they are. So it's complaining about the fact that it's complaining about a lot of things. It's complaining about the fact that SteamVR is not set, but it is. So let's try auto-populating this. Hopefully, let's go ahead and clear. It's kind of strange. Okay, it's fixed. Random bugs happen all the time, but hopefully, there, perfect. So there we go. So I mean, this is really similar to what we want to use for bowling. If you see right now, and effectively, I mean, throw these as like bowling balls, which is kind of nice. I can Kobe them. You can do all this stuff, and I mean, it's set up for left and right hand. It's really cool in that sense. So I mean, the fact that we have that just like straight off the bat, zero coding, is really nice. We're gonna have to tweak it to make it feel more like a bowling ball, but for all practical purposes, at least we have the throwing straight off the bat, and that's really cool. Okay, there we go. So next thing I want to do is we're gonna start it off in a new scene. I'm gonna take VRTK. I'm going to take one of these examples. Oh, I'll take all of it actually. I'll take all of the things. Actually, I'll take the floor also. Why not? Let's take all of the things, dump that in a new scene. Don't save. I don't know why we would want to save that, and put that in here. Awesome. So hopefully those are all linked. We'll keep everything except the sphere no highlight, or we'll delete everything except the sphere no highlight. I think that's the only one we don't want. And move that out. Perfect. So that should be set. And yeah, so that's going to be our bowling ball. Yeah, the play mode tip is actually on Chris. Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, I feel like it's worth showing off. I believe it's in preferences. Yeah, I mean, anyone who doesn't have this, like, I feel you should do it. It's right here. Colors, play mode tint. Change it to whatever color you want. I chose green. But it's the reason is just you can't. It lets you know. Oh, I can't save any of this stuff. So super nice and really flexible on that end. If you haven't, check it out because it might save you a lot of work. That's the thing there. Awesome. So we've got the sphere in here. That's going to be our bowling ball. Next thing I want to do is actually kind of bring in all of those assets that Abdo has made. So again, if you haven't, you can go ahead and get them off of the asset store. Or sorry, not the asset store, our website. Close enough, right? And all right. Oh, it's all on the other screen right here. So you'll get it as this bowling asset zip, and here's everything you need. So I'm just gonna go ahead. Actually, I'll create a folder first. So I'm just gonna call this the folder. Actually, let's just call it art. Open this up, and yeah, just copy and paste all of this stuff in. So this is the textures. This is the model file, and material is kind of hooked up. I mean, we have to set it up, but that doesn't take too much. Yeah, you got a Stone Fox. No worries. I totally get. People are busy sometimes. Like, that's the thing with live streams. But yeah, definitely huge shout out to him and all the work he's done. So yeah, so let's go ahead. And also, if you haven't, there's a Slack channel for VRTK. So I think among all of the VR Slack channels it's one of the most active. I'm horrible at using Slack. That's just a thing. But if you're a great Slack user, I think it's a great place to go in and talk with a bunch of people who are. I feel like there's at least 5 to 10 people at any given time, so that's really cool. So yeah, back to this. We're gonna set up some models real fast. So for this, so the nice part here is Abdo's actually gone ahead and atlased everything. So really, all we need to do is just drag this. Come on. Drag. Yeah, there we go. all we need to do is drag the texture onto the bowling ball, the same texture for the bowling pin. It works. It's a trick called atlasing, which so the models are actually UV mapped, so that they know which parts of the same image to use. So, for example, if you look at this image, the bowling pin knows to just use this like bottom corner here. The bowling ball knows to use the top half. So, really cool effect. The nice part here is when your textures go to the GPU for rendering. You're able to use one memory source, so that helps with access times, helps with shader passes. A huge, well, depending on your needs, it can be a huge performance boost. So we can do the same thing here with the other maps. So I'm going to go ahead. That is the height map, so I'm going to put that in. That is the metallic map. Going to go ahead and put that in. And so this might turn out wonky at first, but we just have to fix it to be a normal map. And once we do that, perfect. I believe this should already be set up, but I'm just going to make sure. Yeah, so bowling pin, they share the same material, so that's perfect. And yeah, so really nice tip. I think Abdo should be covering that on his stream, question mark. We'll find out. So yeah, that's setting up the bowling ball, bowling pin.
Fuse man?
What's up?
Some people are saying they can't see my stream. I don't know.
Oh, they can't see it?
Yeah, I don't know. Could you tell them on the stream how to do it? Like, click the two buttons.
Yeah.
Somebody said they found it.
Alright, so at least that means it's going. But yeah, let me pull it up.
Okay.
So this is my view. But if you go to this page, and I'm going to stop the echo from happening, it's not the gear icon, but if you go to the switch cameras, I can switch to Abdo stream, and here he is. So he's got it open in the chat, so that's perfect. And that's just kind of how you switch back and forth. After the stream, it's going to be different. You'll just have two separate video streams, but yeah, that hopefully works out for you guys. And I'm muting myself, so there we go. Yeah, so that's just kind of what we're doing with that. This is very much an experiment for us, just kind of testing out how this works. Love feedback on what we could do better and improve with this, because I think it's an interesting format to have multiple things going on at the same time, but it might not be very conducive. So we'll figure it out. Awesome. So thanks, Abdo, for bringing that up. Sorry. I'm so used to calling him Abdo. I'm calling him a ghoster. I like the name a lot better. That's for sure. Cool. So we have bowling ball. We have bowling pin set up. We could have. Actually, we could have. So this is Tim's question. Why we didn't do bowling assets? I didn't because I wasn't thinking. It's just organizational choice. At Udacity, when we're doing contract work, we like having an art folder, so I've been mentally thinking about that. Let's have an art folder and then like throw the models in with the textures all under that. But you could just drag that in too. Either way works. So yeah, bowling ball, bowling pin all set up. Let's actually do the lane right now. So, oh wait, I already brought it in. Perfect. So for this, gonna create our giant lane here and just drag in all of the textures just like last time. So this is height map, metallic, and our broken and then fixed normal nap. I kind of found it interesting that Unity chooses to do that, but yeah, it is what it is. And yeah, so at this point we have the lane. One thing I did notice is I liked the scale at like 0.75, or sorry, at least I believe this is in the Z. Let me double check. Yeah, so I liked this a little smaller at 0.75. Play with it, see how you like it, see how that feels for you. But that's just something to keep in mind. I'm also gonna go ahead and rotate it by. Actually, no, I don't have to rotate it. And cool. I'm just gonna get rid of the floor because we don't need it anymore. And then move our camera rig, which is just our player. Whoops, not the camera, just the rig as a whole. Move that here, and let's turn this around by 180 degrees so that this forward vector is pointing towards the pin. And so yeah, we're getting more and more setup. Oh, it wants me to save, sure. Let's save this as bowling scene. Great. And now we can start throwing everything together. So we have the bowling ball. I'm gonna move this closer to here. Somewhere spawning like so. Just as a reminder, we haven't added in the grabbing just yet, but we'll get to it. And I'm just gonna break the prefab right now because I can. And the bowling pin, cool. Let's pull this, move this around. So first thing I'm gonna do is just kind of we'll start with the easy stuff, which is just setting up the bowling pins, and then we'll get into the more advanced stuff. Oh, it's not available on mobile? That sucks. YouTube, why? I think YouTube will fix it eventually. I feel like they've had the service for a while. I've only noticed it recently though. It's kind of strange that they wouldn't do both. I guess it is what it is until YouTube fixes it, right? Okay, cool. So we have bowling pin. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna create a create an object centered. Actually, yeah, let's move everything to 0, 0, 0, including the pin. So this is just gonna be all of our pins. I'm just organizing this. We'll use this a little later on, but I just want to make sure we are organized with the location of all the pins relative to one another. So that pin is going to be our starting point, and I'm actually going to go ahead and pull a reference up. Let's go bowling pins, question mark. Yeah, okay. So I want a top-down view. Okay, fine, we don't need a top-down view. We'll just use this. So it's 4, 3, 2, 1. So this pin is just going to act as our third pin. So we'll put 2 to the side and press Control D to duplicate it. Move it like so. Another one ish. Actually, let's be precise here. So this is -1. No, sorry. This is -1.5, and this one is 1.5. Nope, 0.15. And then let's go ahead and move one back. And like so. Now I'm just going to be approximate a little bit. Ish. That might be too far back. We'll figure it out. And then one off to the side, and then the top one. So that is. We could make them a little closer actually, but for now I think that spacing is fine. Let's see. Cool. So that's these 4. We have the pin, so now I can select them all now that I've have them parented and centered nicely. So I can move them all the way back here and a little up. Let's move it. Yeah, this looks about right. Yeah, that looks about right. Awesome. So that's all of these guys. I'm just going to select them all and add a mesh renderer, or sorry, not mesh renderer, mesh collider. We'll want to make them convex, and you'll get an error here that says convex meshes, or these specific ones have too many, I guess, smooth surfaces. What you can do to fix that is just go ahead, inflate the mesh. You should then start to see these colliders here. I guess it just breaks that down and wraps around the mesh. So that's kind of nice. The reason we have to make it convex actually is because we'll be adding a rigid body to each of these bowling pins, and because of that, for a rigid body physics to actually activate, you do need the mesh that you're working with to be convex. The reason just being to simulate the physics, it's actually kind of complicated if you have a very complex mesh. So I think they ask for 255 surfaces or 255 polygons. Anything more than that, and it starts to slow down the physics interaction. So something to keep in mind there. Now, to actually make sure that our physics is pretty accurate, one thing we're going to have to do is go change the collision detection to continuous. You can make gravity here stay the same, and then for the mass, what I'm actually going to do is just get the weight of a bowling ball or a bowling pin. Let's go weight. So it's 1.6 kilograms, and this is, let's actually Google that real fast. I believe that's in kilograms. Rigid body mass. Or at least that's what I was using. Common mistake. You know what, fine. I'm just gonna keep, I guess you just have to make everything consistent, right? So we're gonna assume kilograms. So that's gonna be the mass of each one of them. I'm not gonna put in drag and angular drag just yet, but we'll get to that. And so yeah, so that's the bowling pins pretty much set up. We don't really need to add any scripts for that. The rigid body kind of handles all of the physics interaction. This hits regarding performance when you use a mesh collider. Yeah. So for mesh colliders, I mean, Unity is actually already being pretty nice with you. One thing, and we'll actually do this for the bowling ball in just a bit, but one thing you can do is actually, so you can have a very complex mesh, a mesh renderer, and so that could have, I don't know, thousands of polygons. And what you can do is actually create another mesh in whatever 3D modeling. We'll get to that in a bit. That's a lot simpler, but kind of captures the same shape. And you can use that separate mesh as your mesh collider. So that's one way you could do that. And I think it's actually a pretty decent way to do it. Let's see, anything else? It should be metric. So Eddie says it should be metric, and I don't know. At Eddie, is that grams or kilograms? That's the real question. At Joe, is there any? Let's figure that out right now. That's actually a great question. So we'll check the asset store. I like to keep these streams interactive, so I'm making sure to actively check the chat and jump in wherever we can, if there are any good questions, because I want to make sure that it's the reason why you do a live stream as opposed to a video, right? So mesh reduction. Let's Google it. Or, well, then there you have it. Yeah. Oh, Simplygon. Simplygon is great, actually. So I have a friend who works there on the marketing team. Simplygon is actually a fantastic tool. It's not the asset's free. It's a little misleading. The asset's free, but there's a license to actually use it. But that said, I think if you don't have a modeler, or if you don't have the resources to simplify your meshes for performance, this is a pretty good asset to actually simplify a lot of things. I highly recommend it. Like I said, it's not free. There is a license to it, but it's used. I know for sure it's used in Dragonfront and probably a couple other Oculus games to make sure things are performant. So in that sense, it's used in a lot of AAA games. Highly recommend that. I sometimes forget about it because I don't use it. That said, like, 100% recommend. Let's see, what else? What else do we got here? Rigid body mass should actually be called density. Oh, that's a good call. Well, I guess but then how does it know? Does it actually calculate volume for these? I didn't think it calculated volume on them, but I mean, yeah, I think Tom is right that the mass is effectively a multiplier in the physics calculations. That said, not sure if it uses the volume component of it. But yeah, let's actually keep on moving and go to the bowling ball. So for this, we're going to use VRTK for this, like I mentioned. We have, so Stone Fox, we're going to use that spear he used, and here are really the three scripts we're going to want. So it's this interactable object, the fixed joint grab, and the swap controller. I'm just going to minimize them so we can see it. Go ahead, copy interactable object, and paste that on here. Same with fixed joint. all this good stuff. We will need a mesh collider, and that's what we're going to build in Blender, just to make sure it's optimized for our needs. And this. Okay, so that's what we'll need. We'll play with those in a little bit. But the next thing I want to do is kind of hop into Blender real fast and make sure we get the sphere we want. And well, that's actually no, then we're fine. So okay, minimize this, and for this we can just, and this, I am no Blender expert. Abdo literally knows every single shortcut, which is which is crazy, and I feel like that just like increases the process so much. But no, I'm a noob. That is what it is. So what we want is the UV sphere. There we go. Now zoom in here, and for this, you want it to be like kind of a sphere, but like also you also want it to be kind of rugged. So for this, what I'm gonna do, I believe, I'm gonna just divide these by 2, so like number of rings down to 8. Nope, not that. 8. Can I just type 8, please? Yeah, okay. So I believe I used 16 and 8 for this. I'm gonna generate UVs just in case. It's set to 0, 0, 0. Yeah. So that's it, is what it is. I'm not gonna bother exporting it to an FBX because Unity does support Blender. And that should be good there. I'm gonna go ahead and save that. I'm gonna save it to my assets folder here that I created for the stream. Set this to collider.blend. Sure. And we'll just save that Blender file. I'm gonna go ahead. Here we go. Drag this into Unity, into the art. I guess technically it's not art, but fine. That's what we're gonna do. And perfect. So that's gonna be our collider here. We can actually now create a mesh collider for this, and this is our collider object. You can see here it imports in a lot of different things, but we really only need the mesh collider for this. And I'm just gonna drag that through. Make sure it's convex. So, I mean, the reason we did that, again, was to simplify the actual size of the mesh, but that's great. You'll see there's like some scale issues with it. What I'm actually going to do to fix that, as opposed to shrinking the actual ball, is actually go to scale factor here. I believe I set this to 0.125 just to shrink it down. And just go ahead and hit apply. Now if we click this, I'm just gonna do that. That's a lot more accurate. Maybe 0.1 might be better. I'm not really sure why that's the case. I mean, file scale looks right, so I think there's something else, or maybe I just made it too big. I don't really know. Regardless, we do have a collider in. And now go ahead, click this. Nope, 0.1 is way too small. We're gonna do 0.12, I think. That might be about right. Does the convex stuff. So the convex, it's an optimization really. Basically, if you know that an object is enclosed, then you can do calculations to, I think, optimize for the physics. I'm not really sure what goes on behind the scenes, but I do know that like for a mesh collider, it would actually be calculating for all the different points on the mesh what's happening, as opposed to with convex, which I think it can effectively, what I would like to say, creates a formula for the actual, I guess, the actual shape of the ball, as opposed to the individual points that it needs to detect. I think, yeah, probably the best way of summarizing it. Again, I haven't taken a convex optimization class, so I can't really speak too much on behalf of it. That's the general idea I have for it. And so yeah, let me know if that answers it. If we want, I can try to look up some stuff on Google, or maybe someone in the chat can post a link of something. But yeah, so we got the convex shape. We have colliders for it. We have colliders for the bowling ball or bowling pins. At this point, we can actually so for the lane, we also need to add a mesh collider. But once we do that, this one does not have to be convex. I think we're fine here. In general, I think it is more efficient to make things convex, but I think we're okay with that. I could be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong. But let me go ahead and try this in VR. It will feel bad. I will warn you. It will feel bad. We still have a bit to do to fix it. Where am I floating? Oh, this is way too high. Let's go ahead and move this up like so. Make sure we're just actually standing on ground instead of floating in the air. Okay. Turn the controllers on. There's the bowling ball. Come on, buddy. God love sleepy controllers. Boy, there we go. So we're using VRTK. We could change this if we want, but by default, to grab anything, it's the grips. So we press here. There we go. I can toss it. You can see all of that physics interactions are there. So that's really nice. We can see it. And I have to say, Abdo did an extremely good job with the bowling ball. It, like, just looking at it, it feels really realistic. We were kind of going for like a Flintstone-like-esque theme with this. I sent him this, and I'll pull it up. I sent him this thing from Clash Royale. If you play that, there's a bowler card in there, and I sent them that as the reference. So we're kind of getting something like that. I think it feels really great. And I lost the bowling pins. Where did the bowling pins go? And you'll also see we need to play with friction a lot. What happened to the bowling pins? I just I was fixated on the bowling ball that I'm like, wait, where did they go? Let me zoom in here. I want to see what happens. Oh, wait, oh, right. I need to move these guys up. That would probably be a good thing to do. Let's go ahead and save that. All right, so now let's see if we can hit them. I'm going to throw this instead of actually letting it die. One thing I'll point out actually is those bowling pins do feel a little small. So let's see. I can't even reach it. That's how much we have to play with physics. Whoops. But that's part of this. So one thing I do notice is these actually feel a little small. One thing. So I'm just gonna make this scaled up by not 0.15, 1.5, 1.5. Yeah, that feels better. So I'm gonna make these 1.5, the normal height. That should, I think, fix a lot of the height problems. Bowling ball size feels fine. These felt a little small. Not Abdo's fault. I think he made them to scale. It's just in VR. I think it feels a little small. And oh, we don't need this anymore. Let's go ahead and delete that. And yeah, so we have the basics now. What we need to do is do the last part of no coding, which is creating physics materials. These are the things you get to play around with a lot to make it feel really realistic. One thing I will point out, because I haven't gotten a chance to talk about this yet, is there's a reason we actually have to use the mesh collider here, and it's not because of the sake of like simplifying a mesh. It's actually, so Unity does have a sphere collider in here. The problem is that with a sphere collider, you'll end up, when it calculates friction, actually maybe this is something we should show right now. What ends up happening is the sphere collider is actually a little too perfect, is the best way of describing it. So friction actually doesn't get applied, and we'll see that. So previously, the bowling ball just like straight up stopped. Now if I throw it, it should never stop. Yeah, so it's going to keep rolling and rolling. There's effectively no friction getting applied to it. That's just something to note. The reason you want the friction more than anything else is that without it, you actually can't get any spin or torque applied to the ball. So if you remember at the beginning, I had it so that the ball will spin, like based on how much torque I throw on the ball when I toss it. Now it's, I mean, it's like kind of indefinitely going. And I mean, the reason it's actually slowing down is because I haven't tweaked the rigid body setting here, and so there's like this angular drag. But other other than that, it'll like, if I just removed that, it would go for a while. Cool. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it for now, and then put the mesh glider back in. But I wanted to point that out because it's actually a little important detail. Let me check the chat real fast. Listening to how extensive you're having wave up and felt uncomfortable. Someone felt. Yeah. With I guess so. Tom's question. Actually, it's probably easier if I just do this. So Tom's question here is like feeling intimidated by, I guess, how extensive VRTK. I definitely kind of felt that this when I went into it, as there's so much. But I think the best way to tackle it is really, if you want an interaction, go check out the example scenes in Unity. They are really effective at really showing off those very specific details. That's kind of how I got the bowling part. Was I wanted something similar to throwing, so then I was like, let's go to one of these object and grabbing stuff and see if we can tweak that a little bit. Same with climbing, same with really anything else. Just there's so many example scenes and they're kind of broken up really nicely. So I encourage you to do that. I think that's probably the best way to get into using VRTK. Yep, all of the good stuff. True. Yeah, it is open source. I do feel it needs a little more love as far as that's concerned, as far as documentation is concerned. But it's Stonefox's like spare hobby, and yeah, that's. I mean, it'll get better over time, and he's passionate about it, and I think that's the really cool part. He's passionate about the community. He's passionate about the code, and to me, that like, as like someone who's in this space, like you really need those two to really make something awesome. What else? So yeah, actually convex, I think I explained that earlier. It's not exactly the same as concave. It's more of an optimization. And actually, while we're here, why don't I convex? The only reason I know this is actually, so at Stanford, there's a, there we go. There's this course on convex optimization. I guess it's a book also. If you're really into the math side of things, I've heard good things about it. It's also, I feel like, one of the most complicated subjects as far as math is concerned. I never personally took it, but there are resources for you to go check out. Simplifies geometry of the mesh. How are we doing on time? Oh, awesome. Yay, thanks, Dre. Any hints regarding performance? We talked about that. Hopefully stream is resolved. Cool. Awesome. Cool. I think I covered anything. Again, post in the chat. Any questions? I'm constantly monitoring it. Oh yeah, Roland. That's a really cool part about VRTK is like that teleportation is actually pretty cool. I will say I do like the interaction system's teleportation a little better. And this is not to like diss on VRTK by any means, but like the lab's system of like picking points to teleport to is really nice. They have the teleportation areas, and I think as opposed to just using a single color, they have this nice little arc. And I mean, it's the same one that's used in the lab. It just looks a little cleaner. Maybe I think there might be a way to merge the two. That could be a possibility. I think it'd be really cool. And I don't think they are mutually exclusive. So you might maybe if this is something people want to see later, it might be possible to merge the two as far as like using the Steam VR interaction system as well as VRTK. But hopefully they're not mutually exclusive. And I think if Dario is here in the chat, I saw him post something earlier. He is working on the HTC interaction system, input system. Sorry, that I think is also not mutually exclusive of VRTK and Steam VR. So there are a lot of options. The same with Newton VR. I think that's really cool. It's great to have all these options in the space to really boost up the ecosystem. Yeah, there's Dario. Yeah, there's also input utility. I'll also bring that up really fast. input utility HTC question mark. Hey, it works. Yeah, so this is the one. I've done a video on their portal system, which I think is superb. Really well done, really well documented. If you haven't seen it, check out that video. Really, really great. Yeah, sorry. This is actually taking a lot more time than I thought, but answering the chat is actually really cool. Yeah, and I think Dario, definitely feel free to talk a lot more about that. It's really cool that there's all these resources available. So yeah, before we cut for a break in about 10 minutes, I just want to fix the physics in our system real fast. And to do that, first, before I talk physics, I want water. I've recently, doing these live streams, I've been getting a lot more thirsty. I don't know why. But water is not bad. Okay, so what I'm going to do is create a folder for something called physics materials. For this, what I'm going to do is create physics material. Let's create one for the bowling ball. Let's create another one for the bowling pin, and another one for the lane. So for our bowling ball, we basically want, so here's what you get for them. It's not a lot of settings, but I think it's what you really need. So if I break this down real fast, so the way a physics, I guess, interaction works is, so let's say I have the bowling ball and I have the lane. So when they collide or are touching each other, these systems are applied. So the friction, it takes a look at, you basically get access to the physics material of the lane and the physics material of the bowling ball, and you can use those basically to combine and make a good feel for what the bowling ball should feel like. So here, for example, for the bowling ball, so you first, I guess the way I think about this is, let's first make sure the physics we want for the bowling ball makes sense, and then let's take a look at, do we need to think about what it's actually interacting with here. So for example, a bowling ball, we do not want it to bounce when it hits the floor. That's something that'll make it feel a lot more realistic and have that weight to pulling down on itself. So keeping that bounciness to 0 is good. And in that sense, is regardless of what it hits, we don't want it to bounce. So we're going to take the minimum of whatever it collides with. So specifically, the minimum should always be 0 for its bounciness value. Next thing I want to take a look at is static friction. So this, I feel like it'll be useful to pull up an image of friction that I think just would explain what's going on a little better. Let's see if we have a good one. I don't like these. Or at least this. Yeah, there we go. This is a good image. So I mean, that's basically how friction works in the real world. Is like you have two things rubbing against each other, and like I mentioned before, a sphere collider is a little too perfect, and as a result, it'll only have one point of touching any other object, and thus you would only have really one of these spikes, which is not enough to really cause a lot of friction, which is why we need another collider. And so static friction is when things are at rest, which is, I guess, this image on the left. And dynamic friction is when things are moving, and then they're effectively rubbing against each other. Generally, in the real world, your dynamic friction is a lot lower than your static friction, just because it takes a little more effort to move. So what we're going to do is, effectively, you want a very low dynamic friction for this. So I'm going to do like something like 0.08. And you want like maybe like a 0.3 for static friction. Those are numbers you want to play with, but that's just kind of the gist of that. And we're going to take the average here for now, and we'll play around with it and see how that works. The next thing I want to do is the lane. So the lane, again, 0 bounciness, that's great. We'll take the minimum here. And so static friction, again, I'll throw like a 0.2 there, and then maybe a, I don't know, no, not that low, 0.1 maybe. For this, actually, the friction combination doesn't matter because our lane doesn't have a rigid body, so it's not going to move. It's mainly to just apply it again to our bowling ball. So whatever you set here, it's not going to matter. The last thing is our bowling pin, and for this, I'm just going to set this to maximum, and our bowling ball bounciness, I want to set to 0.8. So that's what's really going to make it kind of pop and explode a little bit, and that'll be really cool to watch. Static friction, 0.2. Dynamic friction, 0.1. I'm kind of spitballing these numbers here. It doesn't. That's something to play with. Average is fine. And now we just have to apply them to everything. So go ahead, select all the pins. And on our material, our mesh collider material, let's throw the bowling pin material there. Next thing for the bowling ball, take the bowling ball material, throw that. Nope, come on. Throw you there. And then for the lane, last thing, throw that material there. So with that, we should have everything we need. So I'm just going to hit play. Also, for this, we've done most of the setup that we need. So I'm going to take a quick break after this, and afterwards we'll just add in that code that I showed at the beginning that lets us like spawn things as things fall off. So let's try it out right now. And post in the comments right now what game you want to see. I like during the break. I might pick one at random, but I kind of want to see what people want to see as well. Maybe we can get in mixed reality. I think that would be cool. I like mixed reality a lot. Alright, so we got this. Let's see how this feels. So yeah, you'll see right now so one thing I did do, so right now it's not going with a lot of force. So, which is more because I didn't change the rigid body settings. / I didn't add a rigid body because I'm dumb. So let's do that. Rigid body here. 8, 0. Use gravity, great. We want continuous dynamic. I'm surprised it worked without a rigid body. That's actually pretty well done. I think it was actually 8.6. I don't remember the number, but I think that was right. And the other thing I want to do while we're at it is, I believe, yeah, there's this throw multiplier. I'm going to put that up to like 1.25, which should be enough to get it to the force we want. Let's try this out now. There we go. Yep, that has a little more juice to it. Nice. So, as you can see, we're kind of already close to the bowling system. And that's just using, literally we didn't touch code for that. It was using purely VRTK, adjusting the parameters that we want, and getting that to work. So, again, like you can play with more and more numbers. And actually, one thing I want to do real fast while we're at it is test and make sure the physics is working just right as far as spin. So let's do that. There we go. I mean, you can see already that the spin is working with just the VRTK. But there we go. Nope, come on. So yeah, there you go. So I didn't throw it with a lot of force, but you could see, so I threw it to the right. Because I spun it to the left, it spun back. Yeah, so spin is working. You can adjust the friction to make that work a little better. I think you can, I don't know if he has like a torque throw to make the spin a little more. If not, like you can add it based on that throw. Let's see, what is this? I'll grab some water. What else we got? Yeah, I don't see one for torque, but that's fine. I mean, it's also open source to the point where I feel like I could just literally jump into this in Visual Studios and then check and make sure that it's working. So let's open you. I feel like he would have something for angular velocity, and if not, So this is based on this guy. Say throw. Destroy. Is it another one? Oh, there's another one. We're going down the rabbit hole here. All right, this one is for sure. Yeah, throw multiplier is what we want. I can't type. Throw. Come on. Throw multiplier. There we go. Throw multiplier. Yeah, so it would be here. You can update that by the throwing multiplier just to make sure that you get the right speed or spin that you want. And I think the more spin you have, the more friction that's going to get thrown onto it. So if that's something you want to change, that's we can do that. Let me know in the chat. This actually worked out really well. Let me go ahead and check. Some people like to put different spin on the ball before it leaves their fingers. So I'm reading this. I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm no bowling expert, so I guess my question is, how does that even work? When I actually go to like spin a bowling ball and I don't have anything spherical to throw with, but I actually don't use the finger holes at all. I'll just like throw it with my palm. So I'm pretty sure that is horrible style, but that's the only way I can ever get it to work. Let's see. Haven't played Overwatch? Nah, neither have I. Teleport, Electric Puck, Soulless Project. I haven't actually played Soulless Project. It's similar to character Sombra. Sombra or who is the person who can actually like teleport through time? Throw an item and then press a button to teleport. Oh yeah, that's I love this mechanic. It's great. Just similar budget cuts. Schematic, Rec Room, Quest for the Golden Time. I haven't gone into Rec Room lately. Maybe I should do that. Do I have? I think I have Modbox also. Hold on, wait for Fusion. Throw his hands up in the air behind him. Alright, so then why don't I go into... Yeah, well, I'm assuming I have to buy that. So I'm not going to buy it on stream, but I will check it out. Without bowling physics, the lanes are waxed in ways that if you drop your balls with your hand facing in and the ball hits the lane in its side, it automatically... Oh! Is there a way to simulate that? If you drop a ball with your hand facing in, so like, I guess if I have 3 fingers and like this, and the ball hit. Maybe that's why I've never been able to, like, I go to lanes that aren't properly waxed. So maybe that's why I can't actually do spin the normal way. Automatically start spinning. This one, actually, I think it, well, I'm not sure. I don't think it automatically starts spinning. We might have to add, like, code for that. Facing, yeah. So I guess, what is the right way to do this? So it'd be facing your leg. So, yeah, and so then, yeah, throw it like that. Got it, I think. Oh, nice. Yeah, that would explain how you know that. Yeah, no. I used to go bowling like every weekend, and I haven't stopped, or I haven't done it in a while. But let me. Hey, Abdo, copy.
Yep, I can hear you. What's up?
All right. So we're going on a break right now, and probably do that. I'm jumping into a game called Rec Room for like probably 5-10 minutes, and then after that, gonna switch over to scripting.
Okay, cool. What do you want me to do?
I don't know. Whatever you feel like.
I'm close to finishing, actually. I'm in the last steps of texturing them and just send them your way.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've actually integrated your assets already, but
Yeah. Well.
You can jump into the chat and answer stuff. That's the thing.
Okay then. Well, then I guess we'll take in a break and jump into chatting.
Yep. Or yeah.
All right.
Cool. Boop.
Cool.
That mute time. The phone's actually working out quite well. Let's pop into Steam here and then try out. Let's jump into Rec Room. I haven't done that in a long time. kind of excited to see what happens, assuming the internet works with us today. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm like, I keep noticing that like I keep going up into the top of this, and it's not exactly ideal. That's actually literally like the height of where the green screen goes. If I like tilt this up ever so slightly, you see the top. Let's put that back now, so you don't have to. Yeah, there's a bunch of wooden planks there. Oh god, I have to update all of the things. Where's Rec Room? I know I had Rec Room somewhere. What? Lies. Alright. I hate that when you uninstall stuff to save space, it sometimes just like gets it rid of your library if it's free. Rec Room. See? Oh wait, no, it is in my library. And I just missed it? No, I haven't installed it. Sure. Let's give this a second to... anyone know if this is built in Unity? Can I like actually try to set up mixed reality with this thing? That'd be kind of cool. While that's loading, someone post in the chat. Is this built in mixed reality? It's difficult to... Alright, that's good feedback, Chris. Yeah, we were trying this out. I mean, effectively, they're like two separate paths, really. And I guess it might be like easier to like pick one and then go. Is my guess. Yeah, I unfortunately can't really keep that up. Let's see. Is this, you know, how much RAM do I have on my machine? I have on my laptop here it's 16 gigs. Yeah, 16 gigs sounds about right. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're doing this, is just to see if it works out. I have no idea. One before the other. All right, that's good feedback. Yeah, it's. I was like, it would be a kind of cool process just to like get both of our feet wet on it and see what happens. I think they effectively do tailor to two different audiences. And I know a lot of you guys have been like coming for the Unity stuff, so it makes sense that maybe, but there might be an artist community. I don't know. So that's just something we'll experiment with more and see how it goes. Have you ever traveled and tried to do Vive Dev? At Tim, I am traveling technically and doing Vive Dev. I don't stream from home. I stream at FusedVR's office, which means porting most of the stuff over. My very first videos, I was porting actually the whole Vive and all of the setup to Stanford to stream, which is just it's actually not terrible to set up, but yeah, that's the reality. Hey Max, hi from Russia. That's one of the beauties of the stream, is also for me, is just like seeing that there are so many people here coming from different backgrounds. All right. What? No! I just want you to launch. I don't... oh, man. Okay, 4 minutes, 2 minutes. 2 minutes is bearable. I thought it was installing. I just saw the distance of the pins. You can hardly make them out in the Vive. Yeah, Roland, I noticed that too. And I think the only way to do that is actually making the lane a bit smaller. Just not really ideal. Or making the whole lane bigger. That's the only way I could think about it. But yeah, I do hear you that like right now they do feel small. I mean, even after I scaled them up by 1.5 here. So I mean, you can see here kind of, I mean, it automatically kind of feels small, and there's really no way around that, unfortunately. Other than like playing with the scale of like making the lane gigantic or making, I guess, the lane shorter and bring stuff closer to you. That might break some of the game design. Build stuff out on and then take it over onto my Vive, but gotta add Steam VR, and the last one got weird. You're tinkered with compute shaders? Yes. Tim, if you want to see compute shaders, this is actually one of my more favorite videos. Again, while I'm waiting for Rec Room to... I'll probably hop in for like 5 minutes just to keep things going. But, where is... Come on. I know I had that. Yeah, this guy. I'll post this in the chat for Tim. At Tim. Check out that one. So that one's purely on compute shaders. I really like that video a lot. It was actually one of my first dives into it, so I think it's a really great way to get started. Russian Bull. Cool. So I think, yeah, let's jump in. Grab the good old. Yeah, play the game. Duh. Oh, why do you think I hit play to play the game? Let's throw in some headphones. No kids. Oh, I guess they're serious about it. Good thing I'm not under 13. Also, I guess if you guys haven't noticed, I really like the new SteamVR loading screen. I think it's really fascinating. God, that's loud. Nope, I want volume lower. I've already done all of this, though. Can I just hop into... I want to hop into the game. Yeah, I know. Okay, start. No, that's not what I want. Where's the door? Oh, man. This is what I get for uninstalling the game. Going through all of the tutorial again. I've done this, I know. Oops. Smack. I did it. I did it. I did it. I need... Good job. I haven't done this tutorial in such a long time. Yep. It is there. Yay. I'm not gonna bother with my avatar. That's like one of the weird things about avatars, though. It's like I don't have to care about how I look. Alright. Where should I go? That's the real question. I like the paintball. I like paintball. I want to see... Oh, yeah. Unspoken's amazing. Unspoken is like... Let me jump. Oh, cool. Alright, I'm gonna go to paintball. Come on. There we go. I'm like, let's do paintball, and then we'll play one game, and then jump. Oh, nice. Oh, the headphone struggles. Nice. What's up? Assuming my audio's working. That's the real question. Who knows? When you're streaming, I haven't actually tested out if the mic works or not, because I know it's going through. Gah! Smack! Nice. We started? No, we're waiting on. Oh, we did start. Cool. Alright. I feel like I'm at a disadvantage if someone's looking at the video and streaming at the same time. Where's the gun? Oh, wait, I already have a gun. Cool. Alright, let's... What? Oh, whoops. That's what I get for not paying attention. Alright, let's do this. Direct. I don't actually know what is this capture the flag, I guess? Yeah, okay. Oops. That was a good shot. I'll give him that. Let's see. There we go. Can I be a ninja? I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be like infinitely harder to be a ninja now. Where are we going? Wait, where are they? I'm so confused. Where's red team? Slush. Nice. And now I'm off without audio. Let's go. I'm assuming I have to take it over here. I forget. No! No! I lost the flag. Forget. Does it teleport back? No, it doesn't. Okay, cool. So my progress is not without a veil. Where's the rest of red team? Ooh. Where'd the flag go? Dirt. No. Oh, whoa. Hey. Where? I forgot where my. Oh, okay, nice. So wait, how do I drop this thing? Crap. Nope. All right. Let's get at least 1 point. That's what I want right now. Woo! I think I'm safe. Where do I have to drop this thing? Wait, how do I get? I take it in here, right? Yes, no? Where do I drop? Someone has to tell me where to drop off the flag. Is it in? Oh, it's back there even more. Derp. So much fail. I lost sight of where I was supposed to go. Come on. I was up there. I think he's got it. I think. Alright. Alright, there we go. There we go. Alright, I got a point. That and I was like, wait, where am I relative to everything? Alright. Alright. I got 1 point. I think now it's time to go back into scripting for a little bit. But this was good. I mean, yeah. I'm gonna pop out now. I believe our team can win. But yeah. I don't know if that was the game mode someone suggested I try, but Rec Room's great for that. Your base, there's a platform. Yeah, I was like, where am I supposed to go? And I was like, I knew I had to go back to my flag, and yeah, was off on some MVP stuff. Yeah. I got the flag at the end. That's all that matters. And now I believe the team can go go ham. Nice. All right, let me tell Abdo. Hey, Abdo. I'm out of the VR game. I'm gonna finish up scripting. Yeah. And hopefully that shouldn't take too long. What's up?
Yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm just taking off. I'm showing them how to import the maps inside Unity, and that's it.
Nice. You get to have some Unity fun. I mean, I have the bowling done. I just have I have to write 2 scripts. That's pretty much it. And then I think it's just Q&A. Yeah. So I guess I'll mention it on this stream. Yeah, I'll mention it on this stream. So on Abdo's stream, he's mostly done. He's just showing the Unity stuff, or like importing the models in. But if you have questions as far as like modeling is concerned, hit him up. He will be happy to show you guys that. And on this side, I'm just gonna do some scripting. So sound good?
Yep. I'll probably turn off the stream from my side. I guess I'll just.
Oh, you get the black screen. I mean, you can keep the chat open. I think that's fine. Keep it streaming until like we both hit stop streaming. I think that'll work.
Okay. Fine. That works for me.
All right. Over and out. Or not.
Cool.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Over.
Boop.
See ya.
All right. So I just want to make sure we're good on chat. Magic games in VR. Yeah, maybe I should have tried mixed reality. Maybe not. Next time. He's in a room with a green giant. Yeah, I got our fancy green screen set up from SVVR. They have a really nice space set up. I can't wait to see more people. Should try the quest for golden trophy. There's one that I'd recommend. All right, I'll hit that up next time then for golden trophy mode. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead, create a folder for our scripts here. There's really only 2 scripts that I want, one for bowling and then one for the pins. The bowling one's really easy. The pins one is a little more complicated, but not terrible. Hit this up. And so this one, really all we want to do is keep track of 2 things. So 1, private vector 3 start position. So really for this, we're basically keeping track of where does the bowling ball originate at, and that's just going to be where we respawn it once it's fallen off the cliff. the cliff. And for that, really all we need to do is say start position equals transform.position. So that saves it. Next thing we want to do is every frame in update, we basically just want to check and see where our bowling ball is. So for this, I'm just going to say transform.position.y. If that is less than -5f, -5f here is arbitrary, but what it lets you do is just say, is this too low? And if so, then we're just going to say transform.position equals start position. The other thing we'll want to do is go ahead here and say get component rigid body dot velocity equals vector 3.0. The reason for this is because if you don't do that, then it keeps the same falling velocity, so it's just going to go crashing straight to the floor. So you don't want that to happen. So make sure to set the rigid body. I'm going to keep the spin. If you want, you can turn off the spin as well for the angular velocity, but other than that, like, yeah, that's pretty good to go. With that, let's just test it and make sure it works. This is not going to work because I forgot you need to put the bowling script on the bowling ball. There we go. Should save that. There we go. Put this here. I don't need more wires. I have plenty of wires. So here's the ball. So just to test it, yeah, there you go. You can see that the spin happened. Let's toss this here. So it should spin back, actually. Yeah. So it keeps the spin so it rolls towards me, which is really nice. And we have this. So now what I can do is just fail completely at taking out the bowling pins. There we go. That's. If we wanted a little more pop, we can make them more bouncy. But like for now, that's like it's already feeling pretty fine. Get it off the gutter. And yeah, I can just. There's something I don't know why. Like if I went into like anyone else's bowling game, I feel like wow, I can't even hit the gutter. Great. This wouldn't be exciting, but just the fact that we're able to make it makes it exciting. That might just be my bias, but like I feel like I could do that for days. Just because like we made it. Like that it's a good feeling. I guess it's like developer bias by a ton, but like still something satisfying about it, like that I love. Alright, so that's the bowling ball. Really simple script, but does exactly what we need. And the next thing is the bowling pins. So let's do that. This one is arguably a little more hacky, but like I said, there was a reason we grouped them together, and we're going to take advantage of that. So let's open you up. And again, once we do this, we're pretty much done with what I showed at the beginning. Let me know in the chat again if there's anything else you want to see. I mean, we're here for like 30 more minutes, but if there's nothing else, like we can call it. But yeah, this is a live stream for a reason. So let's go ahead. Create two things. So one is a list of transforms. This is the actual pins. Let me just create a new list of good old transforms. So we're going to populate that and start. The other thing we're going to want to do is a list of start positions. So this is a vector 3 start pause equals new list of vector 3. So that's the start position, that's the pins. And next step here is going to be to first populate that. And I feel like this is kind of hacky, but like also not at the same time. It's to do this. So transform child in transform. So we're going to put the script on this game object here. And what we get to do is just say this for each, which basically lets us go through all of our children. Now, there's actually no other way to get the children, which I find odd, but you can do this, which I think is kind of cool. So for this, what I'm going to do is say start, not there. I'm going to do it here. Say start pause dot add child dot position, and then in pins, I'm going to add the child. So that should be it. The next thing is once we accumulate those, we also need to create another value to keep track of the number of pins. So this one is an int, so num, we'll call it num pins down. So similar to the bowling, we're basically just going to say if the pin falls off the edge, then we're going to increase the number of pins that are down. So this is not like typical bowling where like if it just falls down, then we count it as down. It's a little harder to keep track of, simply because I guess you have to keep track of, I guess, the rotation of the object, which is just a little weird. I mean, if you wanted to do that, we could do that, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just gonna say if it falls off the edge, then it's gone. So for this, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna loop through all the pins again. So instead of this, yeah, so we're gonna do this. So for each pin in pins, really, we're gonna say if child dot position dot y is less than -5f, then we are going to say child dot game object dot set active to false. So that just turns it off. We're never going to have to look at it again. And well, let's also do this. So child dot game object dot is active in hierarchy. So if it's active in the hierarchy and it's fallen below -5f, then we're going to just turn it off so that we don't have to check it again. And I'm also going to go here and say num pins down ++. So that keeps track of how many childs or bowling pins really have been knocked down. So the next thing we can do is say num pins, if that equals pins dot count. So if all of the pins are down, basically, we're going to say reset. And then we have to write reset. So this is reset here. For this, we just need to go through for each. So again, same thing here. Let's just copy that because it's faster to type that way. So for each pin, we're going to say, or actually, we'll need to write this as a normal iterative loop. So the reason is because we have two arrays we need to index. Go for int I equals 0, I less than pins dot count I++. Let's go there. Fail. Okay. So pins at I dot, or this is, so that's the transform. We're gonna say transform dot position equals start pause at I. We're gonna, and actually this, it is a transform, so we don't actually have to say dot transform. That's some mistake there, and we don't need that. So then same thing here, pins at I dot rotation equals quaternion dot identity. So that's just saying we don't want any rotation, which makes sense. If it's like toppled over, it's going to be in some arbitrary rotation. Next thing is we're going to say we're going to get the rigid body. So R equals pins at I dot get component rigid body here. So that is just getting the rigid body, and we're just going to say rigid body dot velocity equals or actually, for the sake of like showing this off, well, I'm gonna write this and then I'm gonna turn it off because I think it's a lot more entertaining to see what happens when you don't reset the velocity. So let's just reset the rotations here. And then the last thing is resetting num pins down to 0. So yeah, so that's what we need to do for reset. Now what I'm gonna do is just comment these lines out so we can have a little fun. And hit play. Okay. Let's move this here. There we go. And of course my controllers turn off right when I want to go to test, but I guess that's just reality. Come on. Okay, there we go. So let's see how fast I can reset these guys. Ooh. That was actually not bad. You can see, like, obviously, like, we made the physics a little easy. No! It went the wrong way. You're not supposed to go in. Oh, man. That was rough. Now I have to actually be accurate. Derp! Come on. Oh, my God. This is... If it gets to it, I'm going to cheat. But I don't want to cheat. Nice. Alright. Oh, wait. I didn't add the... No! I didn't add the bowling pin script. Sad face. So this is why you test. To make sure that you do... One, it's fun. Two, it's just like... You come into stupid bugs. That's one way to get rid of them. Alright. Alright, well, last one. At least this one, I'm not... Alright. Hello? Yes? No? Maybe? Oh. The other thing, more things to test, is we have to reactivate them all. Whoops. This is why, like I said, this is why you test. Set game object, set active, true. There we go. So, alright, now I believe I can I can get rid of them all. This is honestly though one of the fun parts about playing in VR is that testing is actually fun. I still have yet to get like the perfect strike according to my definition. Get off, no! Get out of here. Alright. Still nothing? Or is it exploding in my face? Hey, John. We're almost done. Cool. I think. Assuming I haven't failed with bugs. Did you... So I mentioned in the chat about the workshop. Did you want to...
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Alright.
When you're ready.
Yeah, let me debug this thing.
The form's not ready, but we'll...
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I figured I told them I'd do a separate video. Alright, so clearly what it looks like is this bowling pin is still falling. Did I reverse? So this one is saying and y child.position.y is less than negative 5f. Yeah, okay, so that's right. Then we say set active to false. Oh, wait. No. If it is active in the hierarchy and child.position.y is less than, then we set it to false and we increase the number of pins down. That looks right. But then why? Oh, wait, they're back now. Why are they back all of a sudden? Oh, that's why. This number, that should be in there. Yep, all right. So now let's try it. All right. Get rid of those. Get rid of that. Actually, I'm gonna try basketball. That might be easier. No, it's not easier. I lied. Oh. There was actually some spin on that. Try that. No! Oh man. I should have just hired a professional bowling expert for this, because I'm so bad. There we go. No! Alright, there we go. Seriously, still? What is happening? They're not getting set deactive. Alright, what did I... Okay, so active in hierarchy, position. Alright, let me check the chat. Someone noticed I've been incrementing a null. Line 27. It is... Oh, maybe that's why. Yeah. So that should be set to 0. That's a good catch. Good. Yeah, that might be why. Oh. No, here's the real... Oh, I hate when this happens. Visual Studios doesn't save. That is why. Alright. So, note to self. If you ever see that star... Okay, yeah, so now you can see we have a lot of compilation. It's simply because... Unexpected symbol. Yeah, let me know in the chat if you guys have seen why all of a sudden, like, Visual Studios just doesn't save anymore. Like, that, I think, is just so dumb. Okay. Hopefully now this should work. That saving should be fixed. Okay. So now I should see, yeah, so now you see it's like, whatever, how many I hit down were deactivated. So we can just clear these out real fast. Close down. And the last. No! I have to actually throw straight. Oh, no! That works. Hey, there it is. So this is what happens when you do not set the rigid body physics back to 0. You get a giant explosion. So we're gonna put those back, and you can either take my word for it that actually no. I'll do you guys a favor, and I won't bowl them down, but I'll just move them down. That should save some time. Boop. There you go. So you see, so once they all fall down, then it resets. So yeah, so that's basically what we built at the beginning of the stream. Apologies for Visual Studios not choosing to save, which is just such a fail. Make the ball huge. I don't think it fits in the lane if I do that. But yes, I could do that. Ball. Let's make this 5 by 5 by 5. Oh god. I don't know what I just did, but it's gonna be great. Oh. I think I would put this somewhere else. Oh, you can see the oh nice. You can see the giant bowling ball. Oh. So one thing I have noticed though, I'm not really sure why, but as soon as you touch any physics object, it lets go of your oh god. Well, that is what happens with a giant bowling ball. One thing I have noticed though is if while you're holding it using VRTK, and there might be a custom setting that I don't know on how to do this with, but once you do that, it lets go. Not exactly ideal. Again, I'm not an expert in VRTK, so there might be a way to make that happen. Hands down. So I have to teach myself how to do this. Is this a bug? Yeah, I feel like it is a bug in Visual Studio. It's not really sure. File save, right click the first time lately. IDKY. Yeah, I don't really know why either. Cool. All right. But yeah, with this, I think, yeah, John, you want to come on in and talk about the workshops? So yeah, hey everyone, this is John from FusedVR.
Hey everybody. So you can help out with
Yeah.
this. So we are starting to teach developer classes here in our studio, which is all behind.
It's all green screened, actually.
I know. Imagine, if you will, it's a huge warehouse. So Vasanth and Hassan are going to be leading our first course for developers. If you are the kind of person who is enjoying the live stream and kind of keeping up, it's for you. It's like, you know, hands-on deep dive into developing VR apps. We have multiple Vive stations around and Rift stations around the studio. And it's going to be next Saturday. So Bay Area live. And yes, we know already the question is going to be, can I do it remotely? We're going to work on that.
Yeah.
But first one, just because we're still coming up to speed on how the flow goes, we're going to do it all in person.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a site links up hopefully later today
Okay,
on
cool.
your page, our page, the world. We're gonna basically,
world gets to
you know, it's gonna be a small class, 10 to 20 people, very intensive, providing lunch. You know, demo time afterward. We have a joust machine set on free play. You know, a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff. So keep an eye out for it. Also, another thing, if you're at all able to come to the Bay Area. At the end of March, FusedVR puts on a massive conference for VR developers and industry people in San Jose. And you can find out more about that by going to vrexpo.com.
Pull that up.
And, all right, throw it up there.
vrexpo.com.
And check that out. You can just hit the expo and network with people, get VR jobs, find out what's going on, play with hardware you can't really see anywhere else. It's a good time. So please check that out if you can.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, for anybody who's on the stream right now, they have enough coding experience to get
Yeah.
through the class, I would say.
Yeah, I actually said at the beginning, I feel like actually, if they already know how to use Unity, the first one we do is probably not for them.
Right.
But if they have any friends who might want it,
family, coworkers,
that's all there.
especially people who are developers in any form.
Yeah.
Who
Hey,
want to
Fuse
get
man,
into
do you
it.
copy?
Yep. Yo. What's up?
What's up? What's your status, man?
We're actually wrapping up.
So
Yeah.
that's it. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. We're wrapping up real fast. I'm just doing closing stuff right now.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to do a Q&A, a common Q&A, or is it already done?
We can. I actually have to go through chat, but yeah. Let me wrap up what I was just saying real fast.
I'm sorry, man.
So yeah, so a lot of cool stuff happening at FusedVR. There's also a meetup. Yeah, give me 1 second. Yeah, so there's a meetup happening Thursday. Lots of cool stuff, and yeah, I'll put up some more information on that later. Love working with the FusedVR guys; they're so cool. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So Abdo's back on. Let's see. So let me go through chat right now. Lots of active stuff. I love seeing active chat. It's so cool. Let's see. I saw that. Yeah. So if there's Q&A stuff, we're happy to do that. Going in where the pins are multiplayer 5 users. I feel like, Chris, I've seen that video before, or seen that comment before from someone where it's like, I feel. Abdo, have you played Mario Party before? Mario.
In a long time, just briefly. like a while
There's
ago.
like a bowling. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, this one.
I saw that. I saw his suggestion. Chris, I think, suggested it. It reminds me of that Japanese show a long time ago. I think there was something like that where they dress people in pin.
Oh yeah,
No.
they got a giant ball rolling down the lane. Yeah, like I just pulled up another image on that, and I think it's. God, I keep getting out of frame.
It would be interesting, yeah.
Yeah, it could happen. You never know. Well, John left. In regards to discounts though, if you volunteer at SVVR, you get a free conference pass. You put in, I think, 10 hours of work, and then you get to see the whole conference for free. I think it's a really great deal. I've done that the last 2 years. That's how I really got to know these guys. Highly recommend it. It's a great networking opportunity, and then also, you get into the conference for free. What's not to like? So yeah, so that's for that. Can we play this?
Team Lobes is inviting you to, or inviting us, I don't know, come see the LA OpTech community soon.
Where? I remember seeing it, but I don't.
It's close to the end, a few lines above the end, like the last.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. I actually haven't gone down to LA recently. I want to go down there. I really want to go down there for I'm totally blanking out on the names. SIGGRAPH and E3. Those two. I might be down there for that.
SIGGRAPH in July. That's
yeah.
An awesome conference to be in.
Yep. So that's that. GDC. Yeah. Lots of cool stuff happening. How do you accurately set up Unity regarding physics when you hit a ball with a bat, i.e. baseball? I would say, yeah, for that, use a continuous collider. That's definitely use continuous collider because everything is moving really fast. You'll also want to make sure those the physics materials are spot on in regards to friction and bounciness. Really is the key there. How do you get into? Yeah, so that hopefully that answers that. The mass. Yep. Working on something similar. Did that balls flies through. Yeah. SIGGRAPH is super good. How do you get into these conferences? Well, obviously you can pay. If you don't want to pay, recommend volunteering as the cheapest option. You can also go. I feel like meetups are also a pretty good way to get to know people. And networking always helps. Like that's just the thing. It's like the more people you know, the easier it is to like ask people around you for favors. is I guess the best way to put it. Is anyone messing with the FOV HMD at SVVR? I don't think we have a FOV. No, maybe we do. Unclear. Let me put it that way. Unclear if we have a FOV or not. I know someone has a HoloLens that we can hack around with. But no, I don't have a FOV. I didn't back the project. I've tried it, and I think the eye tracking is decent. But at the same time, the demo I tried was designed to hide their inaccuracy. So like you would look to the right, or like say, yeah, you would look to the right, and it would shoot in a cone. So like in like a 5-degree cone, and that, I mean, it's not bad. Like, I mean, it knows approximately in that area you are looking there, and it works great when you have that inaccuracy set, but anything like super precise, I don't know if it does that. Yeah, I want to do AR eventually. I mean, we're getting closer and closer to some consumer AR products launching, so that'll be exciting. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. I would never call myself an expert in VR. I don't think anyone is, but I do have a lot of fun with it. That's for sure. Has anyone able to use the camera and the Vive for anything useful yet? I actually haven't. If that's something people want to see, I'd be curious to play around with it. I don't really know what I would do with it just yet. Yes, this is true. Being networked is not a bad thing to be with me, I guess. Let's see. Light VR. I have not seen Light VR. What is Light VR? Let's go here. Or actually, no, I want to go to the Steam page because I feel like that's probably a bit more accurate. 360 virtual desktop and VR simulator. So is it what? I guess someone enlighten me on what the difference between this and. Oh, there we go. Now I see it. Yeah. Yep. I've seen. I've played around with the pass-through camera concept. I think it's actually a really cool way to do it. Unfortunately, I do think you do need depth cues to make it work a little better, but like for what it is, it's not bad. That's for sure. It definitely has some benefits. Front-facing camera to show your keyboard. Yep. So that, and I think yeah, it's a neat way of doing it. I also don't think it works for the Vive though. Like that's the problem. I think you are generally not, at least in my play, at least here, right? Like I would have to walk up to my keyboard to actually use it, as opposed to being like kind of in the middle of my play space. See, I want to access the edge, finding, you seen this? Yeah, Chaperone, and I guess Guardian. Yeah, Oculus is Guardian. I don't know if you have, well, okay, you do have access to the size. You don't have access to the rendering, I don't think. Maybe you do. Unclear. Yeah, that was a lot of good questions. That's for sure.
Somebody suggested that we do the streams instead of the same time current, like we do them sequentially, do one before the other or one after the other.
Yeah, I think that's something we need to discuss. Play space. Do tell, what VR games have you recently played? Recently the one I played was Unspoken. I actually really like Unspoken a lot. I was doing it with Revive though, so it was a little hacky. And didn't feel as realistic, or like it didn't feel as good, but like as far as frame rate's concerned, but like it wasn't bad. Nice. Yeah, and Abdo, I think, yeah, that's something we need to talk about, like how we want to move this in the future. I think it's useful as far as like it puts out 2 videos at the same time, which is kind of cool, but it seems like, yeah, it's a little hard to follow. You have to pick one or the other.
But I was ahead of you this time. It's too fast, I think.
Yeah.
Me too.
Timing it, I think, is a little hard. I think maybe the way we'd do it is they need to be interrelated, I feel like, as opposed to 2 separate things. How do you sign up to volunteer? I don't know where that link is. I don't know if they put out the call just yet. I'll talk to John about it, and then I can post on Twitter to him if you're curious. Like, just send us a message on Twitter. I can follow up with you on that. It's multi-desktop, right? That's what it looked like. It was multi-desktop. Nice. All right. So I think at this point, Ghoster and I will stick around in the chat for a few more minutes if there are any questions that pop up. But I think at this point we've covered pretty much everything. That bowling ball is too huge now. We've covered a lot of things. This is, oh, I mean, well, I'm not going to throw the skybox in now, but that if you want a skybox, I think the space scene looks really cool. I found it on the asset store. If you just go in here, you pop up
the
this
favorite skybox of Fuseman is the space scene.
It's a free. What's not to like about a free skybox?
It's not to love, of course.
Yeah, this one. This is the one I used. It takes a while to download, so I'm not going to do it now. But if you're interested, I use this middle one, which I think looks really good.
Joe
Yeah.
is asking you what's a game that you spend the most time in VR.
What was the most time you ever spent in a game in VR? I
It's also
think
asking
the
if it's
most
your
time I've
release.
spent is 4 hours, but it was not a game. It was I was on a plane watching 2 movies back to back. That was the longest I've been in VR. It was a long flight, so I was like, I was like, I'll just be in VR. I think it's a great it's a great excuse, right? No one wants to be on a plane, but everyone wants to be in VR. So it's like the perfect match there.
Yeah.
Favorite tools outside of VRTK? I really like Steam VR's SDK. What else do I like? I kind of just like a lot of the models that go there and a lot of the scenes that are set up. It's not exactly tools per se, but it's just like being able to like make something look somewhat high, not high fidelity, medium fidelity. Like it feels nice without putting in too much work. I took like a small break, but effectively it was continuously 4 hours, and the break was not because my eyes hurt. It was more because I was like, I want snacks, and then you have the flight attendant that comes by, so I'm like, where flip up, back and down, like where are the snacks? Where are the snacks? Manage assets. Huh?
An interesting question. Somebody's saying how interesting it is to manage assets when multiple people are touching one project.
GitHub. That's the best way to do it, and then just making sure. I think the best way to organize things is having things broken up into multiple scenes, so that when once somebody goes and touches a scene, it's pretty unlikely that someone else will touch another scene. Pearl, yes, I have seen it. I prefer the non-360 degree version of it. I like it in the Vive, where you can do it on Viveport and you can actually walk around. I think it feels a lot better. And also it's just higher fidelity than like watching it on cardboard. So recommend that if you haven't done that. Yeah, it was short because of VRTK, and that's kind of want to highlight is like you can prototype stuff really fast just like with just the right tools. Is Armswinger built into VRTK? I'm not sure. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, I think that went on longer because I went into the asset store. But yeah, we're close to 12 o'clock now. This was really fun. I think I had a lot of fun. I'm sure Abdo did, but I can let him vouch for that on his stream. And yeah, so do us a huge favor, and I guess I actually don't know how liking works with these. I guess we'll find out. But liking the video helps us a ton. It just to populate it in YouTube's algorithm, and subscribing helps us even more. So if you could do that, that would be awesome. And you can also follow us on social media and post a lot of content there. So if you want tips about VR development from other people, we're constantly retweeting that and giving our own opinions on it as well. So yeah, that pretty much does it. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. This was, yeah, like I said, a lot of fun for us. So let me mute you so that you can do your own outro. But other than that, this has been FusedVR, and I'm signing out. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and not this. Where's the live controls? Yep. All right. So see you guys later.